right, welcome back to Between the Rallies. This is episode 8. I am joined today by a very special guest, the brainchild of the brand 11624. This brand came out, and we're like, what the heck is this name? They have grown a almost cult following. Very devout followers of this brand. Thanks for joining me today, David.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get right into it. I want your origin story. How did you find pickleball?
Boy, yeah. So I guess this goes back to like 2022. I was on a family vacation. My aunt had been playing, down in Hilton Head trying to get away, during COVID and stuff out of, snowy Minnesota. So we were down there on a vacation. Like, you got to come try this game. And I'm like, what is it? My dad's like, oh, you actually played in a driveway once in northern Minnesota, like in 2007 or 2008. It may have even been before then. It looked like wooden paddles. I didn't remember it all. But we went and played actually on clay courts, and I got hooked. I was playing like a tennis player. All the old ladies were getting mad at me because I was just smacking the ball as hard as I
Banging
could.
It.
And that's how we got into it. And then I moved to DC, and we were looking to make friends and do something with exercise because I don't like running. I don't like lifting weights, but I like to be active. So it was a perfect way to do it. And I actually met some of my really good friends. I've been to weddings, all sorts of stuff due to pickleball. So it's been an awesome sport, an awesome way to meet people and get exercise. So yeah, that's a long way to say, hey, that's how I got into it. But yeah.
The community side of pickleball is ridiculous. I always tell somebody, like, networking wise, like, you meet people in pickleball that become your friends that do everything. And like all of my friends too basically are from pickleball now. It seems like that's the way that happens.
Yeah, and anytime I need something, I text the group chat for pickleball, and they're all like, oh, I know this person, I know that person, oh, there's this. Yeah, so it's been awesome. Yeah.
That's like the best thing about pickleball. When in your so you were addicted, you were like, I love this. What made you be like, I want to make my own paddle?
So this was end of 2022, beginning of 2023. I was playing a lot of singles. If you've seen my tennis racket, I go through equipment very quickly. So I happened to break 2 paddles, expensive paddles at the time. They were like $225. I did all my research. I started with a head paddle because I came from tennis. That's what I knew. Everyone started with that head paddle back in the day. And I did a bunch of research, bought an expensive paddle, and I broke 2 of them. And I was like, ooh, I can't really warranty these because it was kind of my fault. But I'm like, I also can't keep paying $225. So I was like, oh, I'll just start making my own, sell them on the side, make some extra money. I've always had businesses on the side, the wedding texting app and different other things. And it just kind of grew from there and took off. So
that's awesome. It's funny. I have a similar story. Obviously, I didn't create paddles, but I was breaking Selkirk paddles like over and over. And I'm like, I can't keep breaking paddles. How do I get free paddles? So that was how I became an ambassador for Diadem back in the day.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. So yeah, that's awesome.
You have sort of like a cult following with 11624. How do you think you were able to establish? I know cult sounds like a bad thing. Let's just say you have very devout followers of your brand. What do you credit that to?
I think it goes back to the whole reason I started pickleball, right? Community. So people want to feel, and myself included, like they belong to something, especially in this day and age where everything's AI and digitized. Like, I don't know. I saw this coming, 10 years ago. I was actually starting to think of like, okay, everything's going to become digitized. And this, I didn't even know about pickleball then. So this just happened to happen. But it was like, what kind of business can I start that brings people together is kind of, you're away from screens, away from computers. I actually want to start a drone racing arena. That went nowhere. Drones were the hot thing at the time.
What's funny is I was into drone racing. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that, right? So I was like, oh, what could bring together? What do I like? But no, I think that's why I have a huge, very devout or cult following, you say. Another company owner called us Shield Team 6. I need to make some shirts with that. I was told that, and I haven't yet.
I love that.
But yeah, I think people just want to belong to something and something with a meaning. And our meaning is, right, to go ahead and develop really high quality paddles, but not charge the really high markup on them. That's not to say that's bad, right? There's 2 different ways to do things, and we're getting more into helping to grow the game. But you can grow the game by selling more affordable paddles, or you can help grow the game and put it back into the pro game and grow it that way. So pros and cons to both, but they're both good in their own way. So yeah, and I think people just want a sense of belonging there, and that's what we've built.
So you just hit on it with growing the game to the pro sport. You, as I don't want to call you a smaller brand because you're growing so rapidly, but you have now entered the pro scene with signing Deckelbar, which is a huge signing, him leaving Yola to go to you guys. That was very big news. And also I just saw a picture the other day of Rafa Hewitt playing with a Vapor. So pros are definitely becoming attracted to your paddle. How did that happen? How exactly did the Deckel Bar partnership happen? Did he play a role in developing the Power 2 and just kind of how that relationship came to be?
Yeah, so good question. So actually the Power 2 development started last August. Technically Hexcrit started over the summer back in like June or July, but that rolled into the Power 2. So we started that. I went through a few iterations, didn't like them. Then in November we ran out the UPA lab. We made a video on that if you want to see that. And we decided on, hey, this is what we're going to make for the Power 2. And we're going UPA only because it won't pass USAP. We were going to try to do 2 versions or try to get 1, but it wasn't as good. So we decided to just go to UPA only route. And then we had a mutual friend, Sarah, reach out and was like, hey, Deckel's looking for someone to sponsor him. He wants to be with a company that takes care of him and he can help be part of the whole process. So we just started talking. This was already after. I wasn't planning on paying the UPA marketing license. I wasn't planning on doing anything. I was just planning to get approval. Mm-hmm. So then we spoke over 2 to 3 weeks and he ended up signing and it's been awesome. So he didn't play development in this one. He is testing some other ones right now that he will help play development in, as well as a new shape. I'm sure some people have seen it online. So it's been really good. It's been a fun roller coaster ride of all over the place with, learning something new with UPA, signing pros. Mm-hmm. We'll have, I know one for sure, hopefully, maybe, probably one more here in April. That'll be pretty good.
Okay.
People will be excited about, but yeah. So it's been really good, and it's been good to help support him as well, right? And that's been a cool part of growing the game is supporting pros, being out supporting the pro tour and things like that as well.
Very cool. I'm super excited. I love seeing the pros using, some of these more enthusiast paddles and taking some shine off the massive marketing companies. The colors. Who you've been known, like the Royal Burst, the Lavender, like all these colors have been so... Are you coming up with these colors or do you have somebody that helps you kind of design the colorways?
So I do all the colorways. I've done the cornflower blue, which has only been in... the jelly beans, but I did the lavender, the white, the teal. The Royal Burst was actually, I saw something on Canva of all things of like a purple and pink gradient. I was like, that would look good on a paddle. So no, that's all been me. Now we do have a professional designer now who actually designs the paddles, but I just give them the colors and say, hey, have at it. So
all right, so
I don't design the paddles anymore.
But you've got a little creative flair with the colorways. I like that.
Enough to be dangerous. Yeah.
Hexagrit. Obviously, long-lasting grit is like at the head of the industry right now, at least as far as like the more enthusiast brands. What do you think comes next? Like, what do you think is next? Everybody's going after grit right now. What do you think the next technology to kind of evolve is going to be?
So that's a good question. So I think we'll continue to work on durability, right? Foam is a huge step up from honeycomb. It still has its own issues, and we'll continue to work on that. But it's going to be a lot of feel. So I don't want to give away too much because we are working on something right now that'll be developed over the summer and into next fall. But it's going to be feel and like how can you get a paddle to feel softer on the net, hit hard from the baseline still. Sound is a big thing, right? You could put headphones on someone and they could hit 4 paddles that are all within 1 mile an hour of each other or so, and they couldn't tell you which one was the most powerful. But you take the headphones off, and they're like, oh, actually, this one's more powerful. Yeah. So I think sound's going to be a piece of it. And then there's some other things, right? There's some more tricks, so to say, with spin, but you have to be careful because loopholes can be closed and things like that. Yeah, I think and I said this, I think 6 or 8 months ago when I really started to focus on marketing and branding and things like that. And we're getting there, and it's still going to take, that stuff takes a long time. It's going to go the way of tennis where, power and control are like a thing, but it's more all about feel. Because we're all in this box, right? And you can find ways around the box. It's like F1, but eventually you all still converge, right? Or someone closes a loophole. So, yeah, it'll be interesting going forward. But durability and some other little tricks and feel in there will be it.
Sound is funny, and you're so right with sound. When I was on my last podcast and doing power testing with the radars and stuff, like you hear it and you're like, man, I just crushed that ball. And sometimes when you see the radar, you're like, I didn't crush that ball. And so we associate sound with it's like almost like a pleasant feeling when it sounds a certain way.
Yeah. And that goes into the same thing with the feel, right? How a paddle vibrates or reverberates and how that feels to go with the sound, right? You're stiff, hollow, dense, all those feelings. help that too. Because I know some paddles
Yeah.
that feel really soft and like, oh, it didn't hit hard. That hit way harder than
Way
they
hard,
seem.
exactly,
So, yeah.
exactly. It's funny. We're gonna go the way of like when we were kids and we were putting the card in the rim of our tire. You know, we love different sounds. People are gonna find artificial ways to make cool sounds.
Yeah.
We totally skipped this. The name 11624. For those that don't know how it came to be, how'd you come up with the name?
Yeah, so my last, well, 2 jobs ago, I guess, or 3, or I don't know how many, but there was a jelly bean guessing contest, and I guessed the exact number of jelly beans in the jar, and it was 11,624. So that's how we came up with the name. Terrible name. It's caught on now, but if I had to start over, I would go with something else. But it'd be too hard to change it now. Plus, it's known, and how else would we call ourselves Shield Team 6? So
Yeah, yeah. So the your paddle, the jelly bean, that was obviously a homage to how the name came to be too. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Jelly bean
Oh,
was
yeah.
like one of my favorite paddles for a very long time. And anybody that was like, "Hey, what should I get as my first paddle?" I was like, the jelly bean. Like, price for performance, it was just like so good. I felt like nothing touched it really.
Yeah, it's still good, and we're gonna play on that more here with some new releases of jelly bean flavors and jelly beans and stuff. So that'll be fun.
I like
maybe
that.
some new colors. Yeah.
Nice. If you ever need somebody to test any of your colors, you know, you got my address. So you got a baby on the way, right?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah,
Cool.
very coming up quick.
Is this the first one?
Yeah, first one. Very excited.
Okay. Are you a little nervous about how to do the, life work balance with the baby?
Yeah, but it's just something and my wife always talking about a lot. It's something I have to figure out as I go, and we'll figure out. We're a good team, so I'm not worried. But I know, like, hey, I'm gonna have to step back a little bit and help take care. Plus, I want to be there. As they grow up, they only grow up once, and it goes very quickly. Everyone says. I'm sure you know that.
It does. I mean, I've got a 3 and a 6-year-old, and I feel like I was changing diapers yesterday, but now they're acting like they're teenagers.
Yeah. Just wait till they actually do.
I know. It's gonna sounds terrible. Company size, like how many people make up your company?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, it's 2 full-time, myself and Ben.
Okay.
A lot of you know Ben. He does a lot of the support. And then we have 2 part-time college guys who come in and pack paddles. Like, great college job because you come hang out with your buddies in the warehouse, listen to music, and pack paddles. So we can grow quite a bit with just the 2 of us. So that's just my philosophy of running companies is not headcount.
Lean.
It's just running very lean and being very efficient. So, yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. It's crazy to think about that you're running an entire company with 4 people, basically. That's awesome. All right, hot take. What is the most overrated thing in pickleball, in your opinion?
Overrated. Boy, I could go down a rabbit hole here. There's a few.
A rabbit hole's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot. There's 2, but one of the big ones is like power is everything, and everyone's taking and this has nothing to do with the reviewers, by the way. I love all the reviewers; they're amazing. But like the databases, and when something's like half a mile an hour off, people are like, "Oh, nope, that's low tier power," and it's like you would have no clue on half a mile an hour.
No,
so that is my hot take. It's like all those power paddles are all going to be about the same for you. You'll be able to hit them just as hard. So, granted,
100%.
now if you're at like the 6-0 plus level, you're definitely going to have your field preferences. Like when we talked to Deco, like he's very in tune with the paddle and things. It's different, but I'm sorry, myself included, at the 4-0, 4-2-5 rec level, it doesn't make a difference.
No.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I do think some of those databases do get kind of overwhelming too. And I always think about the difference. I mean, day to day, even the difference could be a little different. So I feel like people need to look at those databases and kind of use them as like a broader reference versus being like, concrete, like this power paddle hits 58.6 miles an hour. Like, I mean, it could have been a good day for that reviewer hitting the ball.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. They're a great guide, but they're a guide. Like you should pick a paddle based on feel, and that's part of the reason I didn't say what the Power 2 is made out of, which I think it helped in some ways and hurt in other ways. But there were some people who were like, now everyone knows it's MPP, but they're like, it can't be MPP because I hate MPP paddles and they're no good. But I love this, and it's like, well, no, that's what it is. So really, I think everyone should throw out their preconceived notions and just go by feel, right? And not every paddle's for everyone. So.
It is MPP. Honestly, has become one of my favorite paddles quickly. But the first MPP paddles I didn't like, and then yours, and then Speed Up had one, and like there's just MPPs, and the sound with the MPP, that thunk, that's drawing a lot of people too. So I've been a pretty big fan of MPP lately. Do you have some new foams in the works? I'm sure you can't divulge too much information, but
Yes, working with on some things and trying. It's hard to get some of these companies to want to work with you because they work in other industries and they're like, pickleball, what's that? Like, but I don't think they realize. But also too, you have to find foams that work in heat, right? So you have they have off gassing when you put them and combine them with the polyurethane adhesives, and that can cause issues, right? We've seen that with some MPP paddles, and that's pretty much under control now. So yes, and then also some different construction types, some very different ones that I'm very excited about. But we're early days on those. So the first prototypes were very exciting, but they were like almost 9 ounces. So it was like Thor's hammer.
I love it. All right. In closing, do you have any passion projects or anything anybody can follow you? I know you've been making your video content has definitely stepped up. I'll go ahead and put in the show notes, but do you have any projects that you want to, talk about before we end this?
Yeah. So actually I visited John Q 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to be setting up my own Canon, and we'll be doing a bunch of marketing with it. And mine's not, his is much more scientific. Like, yes, we'll use it to test our paddles, but it's going to be a lot of, fun marketing material. We'll be making a ton of videos. I bought a super slow-mo camera so we can see how paddles and balls interact. Doing marketing on that. I'll be showing more day in the life stuff. We have some reels and videos like behind the scenes of the media day and the photo shoot. We'll do behind the scenes of like what a day in the life is here. We're moving warehouses soon, so we'll probably shoot something around that. So just trying to show you all more of what goes on behind the scenes. And it's not as glamorous, as fun as everyone thinks. Like, right, I'm not out playing pickleball all day. I actually like when you work in it all day, that's the last thing you want to go do. So I don't know, those are some fun things. And then some new paddles coming out, new bags, new gear. Awesome. It's a lot going on. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Love it. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on my podcast. I've always loved your brand. You reached out when I was going through my, personal stuff. So you hold a pretty special place in my heart as far as some of the brands go. So I really want to thank you for taking time out of your day to come on here.
Yeah, happy to. And thanks for having me. I really enjoy it.
So, all right. Well, have a great weekend, and we will talk soon.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Thanks, Kyle.